We describe the rise of the Shang Dynasty in early China. Another river valley, or in this case two river valleys, that saw the rise of civilizations was located in China. In the middle of the Huanghe or Yellow River and the Chengtiang or Yangtze River was the east-central fertile farming region that would give rise to the early Neolithic kingdoms of China. These would eventually combine into the Bronze Age Shang Dynasty. Like other early civilizations, not a lot is known about the early humans who inhabited China. According to Taoist belief, a deity named Pangu emerged from an egg and also released the entire universe into balance. He then separated the heavens and the earth and chiseled the landscape, allowing for China to grow geographically isolated from the other river-based civilizations. Unlike the accessible borders of Mesopotamia and Egypt that allowed for centuries of invasions by outsiders, Chinese civilization was fortified by its geographic location. The southern areas are bordered with the heavy rainforest, while the west and southwest run up against huge mountain ranges like the Himalayas. The northern part is composed of the Gobi Desert, while the east is the Pacific Ocean. This positioning has allowed China to expand and maintain relative freedom from outside invasions through the millennium. China's ongoing expansion brought them into contact with a variety of nomadic groups that would play a much bigger role in their future. At some point after the Neolithic farming revolution reached China, civilization was born of the need to organize a government around controlling the rivers. The yellow sand that flowed in from Mongolia, known as loess, would flow into the river and lift the water to sometimes very dangerous levels of flooding. When this combined with snowmelt from the mountains, it could also cause problems to the dike system. Formed governments began to organize dam, dike, and canal projects that were needed to prevent total destruction of the crops and periods of starvation. The riverbed would also need to be dug out from time to time. Government was also called for to direct the lives of the majority of the population who lived between the two rivers. It's thought that this organization began about 4,000 years ago. From the archaeological remains of housing, we can construct a picture of social structure, from wealthy palaces to simple houses with dugout floors. During this developmental period of Chinese civilization, we see the development of a universal language for writing and speaking. We see silk manufacturing, leather-armored chariot riders, ancestor veneration, bronze goods, jade jewelry, and the use of coal for energy. The early social structure we mentioned developed around the idea of a central ruling family dynasty who would oversee clan-led nobility who would defend and work the land, while a large class of peasants who lived meager lives in mud houses worked for the nobility to farm, rebuild the dike system, and serve as soldiers in military campaigns. The efficiency of the system also grew a strong merchant class for trading. One of the first long-serving dynasties was the Shang, who ruled China from about 1800 BC BCE to 1200 BC BCE. We know from the archaeological sites that they had an advanced level of metalwork knowledge in the weapons and in the way they formed the elaborate tombs of leaders like Wu Ding and his wife Fu Hao. We know that in this early time period, life revolved around a series of rituals devoted to fertility and flood control. These rituals came with the images of dragons and birds and often used human sacrifice.